Hi everyone. So this is me, Kenny, and we have Praful there. Hi Praful.
Yeah, hello Gane, how are you?
I'm good. So today we are looking at something in Kotlin, and it is something that is called the Elvis operator. Is that something you've heard about before, Praful?
No, never. The name
So
also
it's
a bit
actually
strange.
yeah. This actually it is the name of a popular singer called Elvis,
Oh, is it?
and
I thought that it is related with the singer.
yes, same person. Yes,
Oh, that's nice.
about him only. Yes, and so the thing is, if you look at this particular symbol here, the question mark and the colon, if you flip it, rotate it to the right, it's almost like a smiley. You write colon in the bracket, right? So this is like his hair is coming like this. So he used to have a famous like hairstyle. So that is how this
Oh,
name came.
that's pretty interesting.
Yeah, yeah, it's just the fun part of coding, I guess. They gave it interesting and funny names. So yes, so I'm sure you would have seen a similar syntax elsewhere, right?
It is known as tertiary operator, right? Tertiary operator or
Yeah,
ternary operator,
tertiary
something
or
like that.
ternary operator. Yes, yes.
Hmm.
So this is essentially a short form of that in a way, right?
Okay, okay.
So what we are doing here is we are saying we want to assign a value to A. Okay. So for that, we're saying we have a variable called B, and we are saying, okay, if B is not null, then let us use the value of B and assign it to A. Okay. And if the case is that B is null, then we are saying we will take the value of C that is available here and assign it to A. Okay.
Yeah.
So you can think of it like an if else statement, but it is like compressed into a single line and easier to read. Right.
By looking into var, I feel like it is something similar to JavaScript as well. But there is no undefined concept here, right? It is checking null only.
It is having a null only, and var here in Kotlin means just we are creating a variable.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So yes, so this way I have just drawn a little example of how it works. So assuming that we have these boxes and each of these variables are boxes. Okay. So when the case is that B is not null, so B is having some value, and suppose C is also having some value. So in this case, this operator will check and then it will put the value. Since B already has a value and B is not null, that value comes into A. And in the case that when B is null, so here there is no value inside B. So at that time we will take the value from C and put that into A.
Okay.
And there can also be the case that B and C are both null. Then there is no option, but it works in the similar as a second way. Whatever is in C, which is null, then it gets put into A. Right.
Okay, okay. That's nice. By
Okay.
the way,
So
how
let
your diagram looks very pretty. How you created these diagrams?
yeah. So this is using an open source tool. It is called Excalidraw. Let me see if I can open it. Excalidraw. I think it might have the existing. Yeah, it has this. So it is an interesting way that you can use this text field, and you can have arrows, and you can create boxes and circles. So that way I've done it.
Okay,
And
thank you.
this is that Elvis operator in rotated mode. You can see that smiley face.
Mhm.
So yes. So coming back to our code. So let us take a look at some sample code. The same thought process, we'll just run that sample code. Okay. So here, the first case, so we are using this thing called a Kotlin playground. That is something already available on Kotlin website. And it is a way that we can quickly, try some Kotlin code on a browser without having to install any other IDE.
This particular concept I really like. Nowadays, I think almost every programming language gives some flavor of playground. Because earlier when I started developing in Java, it was really difficult. We need some IDE, or otherwise it was a bit tough to try
Yes.
a very small code snippet quickly.
Yes. We have to download, install, set up everything, and only then we can first write any first line of code even, right?
Yes, yes.
So this makes it much more easier. So
Yeah.
same way, I mean, I had set up all this IntelliJ idea and all that, but sometimes it was giving me some compile issues. So I thought, okay, maybe it will be simpler to use this.
Yes.
Okay, so we are looking at the sample code for this, and we are considering the first case, that is B is already available or B is not null. So here we are defining a variable with B, which is a string, and I have given a string called Kenny. And C, also we have created a string and I called it Praful. And here in the var, we are saying we are creating A, and then we are using that same Elvis operator, and we are saying B colon question mark colon C, and we are going to print that A. So if I'm running that,
Then
I
output
think
should
it's
be same
already
as
run.
B.
Yes, the output should be the value of B in this case.
Yep.
And here we can see that it is the correct value. Right?
Yeah.
And the second case where we are saying that B is equal to null. So here I have given a string with a question mark. So in Kotlin compared with Java, Kotlin is very specific that when you're saying it is a string, it will be a string. It cannot be null if you are giving that the type is a string. But if you're giving this type as string or any other type like integer or whatever, with a question mark, it is saying this can be null. And if you don't give the question mark, the compiler will complain that, I don't know if it will come in this one. Let me try running it. Yeah, so null cannot be a value of a non-null type string. So the actual core objects or data types in Kotlin, you cannot put a null, and you have to put a question mark after it if you want to assign a null value to it.
Yeah, this is a bit important in a larger project because most of the time Java programmer deals with null pointer exception all the time. And null pointer exception cause lots of issues. I think this approach adopted by TypeScript as well, and now this Kotlin, just to prompt user that there is a compile error in the compile time only, they can see that this is some warning kind of message, so that it will force them to initialize some value with the proper string, not null. It definitely helpful for avoiding different bugs.
Yes. And I think Kotlin has a lot of other operators other than this Elvis operator, which also tries to help us work around this null problem, right?
Mm-hmm.
So yes, so we have initialized a variable called B, which is an optional string or nullable string, and we are putting it as null. And in C, we are saying it's a normal string, so that is our second option that we want to give. And we are saying it's Praful, same as previously, and then we are having the same code. So if I'm coming and running it, so here in this case, the C value is correctly taken because B is null, right?
Yes. But is there any ternary operator is also available in Kotlin?
Let me just take a look. I also don't know. That's a very good question. Okay, so apparently not, or maybe let me just search for it. Kotlin ternary operator. Okay, so they're saying there is no ternary operator in the Stack Overflow. Okay, they have made it like a single line if statement. So you can say if A, then B, else C kind of a way.
There is no brackets, and that is like, so they don't feel it is needed.
Yeah, they've just condensed it into this if format itself.
But ternary operator is quite a standard. I think many programming languages do have that, so it makes people more comfortable using that. I hope they could also have that.
That is true. Yeah, they might have some reasoning for not including that.
Yeah,
but
no
yeah,
problem.
good question there. Yeah.
Yep.
So yes, we don't have this. Maybe they are like Kotlin is cool and we don't want ternary, we want Elvis only. So it's a different direction. Okay, so that is when B is null. So let us now take a look at the third option when B and C are both null. And it's just an extension of this second option, because since C is null, it has no other option, right? It has to take a value. So
Can
that
you
way,
chain it like, can you put one more question mark and colon after C
yeah, let me try.
and put some string?
Yes. Yes, so that works.
Yeah, so we have a chaining concept. This is a very powerful concept. Like if this is null, then go to next null, and if it's null, then go to next, and this can be used in an interesting manner.
Yeah, and like a normal way that we would use it is lot of if else, right? We'll have to have a nested if else, right?
Yes, yes.
So this is much more readable and easier to read.
Yes, yes, definitely.
Okay, this guy. Next, okay. So next we'll just take a look at the if statement, which is that we just saw it right now, but how this if condition works. Similar thought process only. So here, assuming that both are strings are there, and then instead of the Elvis operator, we are writing it like if B is not equal to null, then we are giving B. Else C. It's just a way. It's just a more verbose way of saying that same thing, right?
Yes, yes.
So here it is giving us Kenny, but if I make it a null, then it will give us Praful.
But I'm used to put curly bracket after if else condition. It will be a bit difficult for me to adopt this syntax for a long time.
I think, let me see that if we give this with the curly bracket, I think that might also work. Yeah, that also works.
Yes.
So,
but I think we can't put a B and C simply. I think recently JavaScript or TypeScript is coming up with the syntax. See, by the way, if you are returning, right? So usually in traditional C programming or Java, it is not possible to return something from if block. You can execute some condition and you can assign variable A equal to variable A you have to initialize before if, and inside the block you can assign A equal to B or A equal to C. But from if block and else block, you are returning some values. So it is a bit different. But I am thinking new programming, I think JavaScript new syntax also adopted this thing, or maybe Java, I'm not sure about it.
Okay. I'm not sure. Yeah, Java also, I'm not sure, but I think this is a new way that, the expression can also like a, like a block can also return a value. That is the concept.
Yes,
not only
yes.
a function, I guess.
I think I've seen some other programming language. I'm not sure which one, but they are also adopting this syntax. This is good syntax.
Okay. Yeah. So that is about it in terms of the Elvis operator. So what do you think, Prabal?
Yeah, it's a good, quick shortcut, but it will get some time for me to use to it.
Yeah, even since you're used to Java and TypeScript, right? This it'll be a little different, right?
Yes, yes. But it's fine.
Okay.
Good to know.
Great. So yeah, that's about it. So thank you everyone for watching. And if you like this, you can like add a comment or like what you liked or whatever. And any last words, Praful?
No, it's a very good learning. I think this is the second video in Kotlin. I'm expecting to learn more Kotlin from you, Kenny. Excited.
Yeah, let's learn together.
Yeah.
Bye, Praful.
Bye-bye, guys.